everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This week's feature is on a woman named Bessie Coleman who never gave up on her dreams. Joining us today is researcher from Saginaw Valley State University, Ms. Scard, here to tell us a little bit more about Bessie Coleman. Now, when was Bessie Coleman born, and how would you describe her early life?
Bessie Coleman was born in 1892, and by no means did she have an easy life. She grew up in Texas. There was a lot of poverty and discrimination, especially for the African Americans in the community, because at that time African Americans were not allowed in any facilities where the white people were. So she wasn't allowed in many public places or on the railways. So when she was 23, she decided that she would move to Chicago and try to make something of herself.
Now, what is Bessie Coleman most known for?
Bessie Coleman is known as being the first African American female pilot.
And what sparked her interest in aviation?
When the soldiers returned home from World War I, they kept telling stories of, the flying and everything that happened there, and she really sparked an interest in it. She really wanted to know more about it. So she tried to get into flying school, but none of them would accept her because of not only being African American, but she was a woman.
So how did she finally end up learning how to fly?
She decided that she was going to learn French here, and then she would fly to Paris and learn to fly there. So she flew to Paris on November 20th, 1920, and it took her about 7 months to earn her pilot's license. She ended up getting that in June of 1921, and then she performed in countless air shows, and she wore outfits that made her like the daredevil type pilot. And then they ultimately caused her death when one of the air shows went bad, and she ended up passing away in 1926 due to that.
That's unfortunate. Well, thank you today for joining us. We really learned a lot, and we really valued the information you brought with us today.
Thank you for having me.